Baltimore's going to win this game. That's my first upset of the young season. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Put it out there. You can frame it and walk down Fifth Avenue with it, because we're talking about the incumbent number one seed, as Danny said. Yeah. We're talking about, as Danny said, the incumbent most valuable player in the league. You can't sleep on everybody else.
Baltimore Ravens have the potential to be even more dangerous than even Kansas City because of what Lamar Jackson
The whole world's going to be watching, people from all over. So I'm very excited about our defense and our offense, special teams as well, to put a show on in front of the entire world and do it and look good while we're doing it.
I prayed for this. Yeah. To go against him because, he's tried to take everything from me. He's tried to take it all from me. He's got to pay. He's got to pay for what he's done to the podcast space. How he's tried to eliminate us. And honestly, it's not right. I don't care who he's dating. I don't care who he's dating. I don't care. Did they get engaged?
No, not yet.
I don't care who he's dating. September. What day did we play? September 6th, it will be pod versus pod. And we will see what heights is higher. Yeah.
Last time they had us on the underdogs, we was playing San Fran. And you seen what happened when everybody talks about us, like how we ain't ready for the smoke, how everybody hoopla, hipla. I mean, we going to come 10 toes, ready for everything.
Oh, that's on the line, isn't it? You think?
Terry McCauley's going to have to make this call, but it looks like that toe's on the line, Terry. I agree completely.
I think the Bengals absolutely win this game. I think they needed the week one loss. I think they're having a come to whatever moment, and they are the challenger. I think they have a lot of confidence in this matchup that other teams don't have. They have their number. I wish it was later in the season for sure, but I think that they win this game. Their O-line is better than it was the 3 times that Joe beat him, 3-1 against this squad. So I'm going to take the Bengals by 7.
It's definitely a must-win for the Chiefs.
It's a must-win.
And Greg said some of it. Joe Burrow, 3-1 against Kansas City, 2-0 in the regular season. Do you want him to go 3-0 in the regular season against the Chiefs? And we all look at the Bengals down a little bit. If he goes in there, in Arrowhead.
Don't do it.
In week 2, when the Bengals are usually bad.
Come on now.
With a bad wrist, he's on wristwatch.
Yeah, big time.
Right? No T. Higgins. And they win. The Bengals will live rent-free in the Chiefs' head all season long.
No one believes
that. Bengals is a threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. Are they? And the main reason they are is because they're the only team that has done it. Since Joe Burrow has stepped into the National Football League, he's the only one that said, Patty, come on. Come to my place, I'll beat you. I go to your place, I'll beat you. He's the only one that has shown he can do that. So when you ask me the biggest threat, the Bengals are no way near scared of the Kansas City Chiefs. You hear?
But if anybody is equipped and certified to say that, it's mighty Joe Burrow. It's 3-1. He knocked him off in the AFC title game. You realize Joe Burrow is the only man, the only team who didn't have Tom Brady that's ever beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? It's Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. So, I mean, like I said, is it the smartest thing? I'm more of like a, lie in the weeds and be, we'll see you when we see you. We don't need to be announcing it. But if Joe Burrow wants to talk his ish, Joe Burrow can do it. He's proven it, 3-1.
In reality, there's not really anything to debate. I mean, the Bengals have beaten them 3 out of 4 times. They've beaten them when they've had a mediocre defense. They've beaten them when they've only rushed for 60 yards. They've beaten them without Joe Mixon. They've beaten them when the Chiefs got 10 hits on Joe Burrow. They've beaten them under every circumstance. They've beaten them in Arrowhead. So when I look at it in totality, the only time that they've lost is when Joe Burrow has thrown more interceptions than TDs. And that's only happened twice to him in the playoffs out of 7 playoff games. And it only happened 7 times in 49 games that he's played since his rookie year. So once out of every 7. So do I expect that would happen again? Highly unlikely. So for all the reasons, that when the Chiefs have been at their best and the Bengals have been at their best, both have been healthy, and even when the Bengals have been compromised, they found a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs more times than the Kansas City Chiefs have beaten.
What does Xavier Worthy bring to this KC offense that you guys have to be prepared for?
That's about it. He can run straight, run jet sweeps, and just run straight. He can't do too much else, so that's about it. I feel like you put your hands on him, he's only 100-something pounds. So if you put hands on him, you'll stop the speed. So basically, get hands on him.
Everybody knows that, bro. It's not no if. You know what I'm saying? We are the team to beat in the AFC, and we know it.
What is your perspective about these games, and why have you had so much success, I guess?
Man, I don't know. I think we both work really hard at what we do. They have great players. We have great players. I think we match up pretty well with them. We're kind of built to beat them.
More heat and a sack. And the ball's out. And it's Connor running with it. Jamari Connor to the end zone.
Chiefs at Falcons.
Here's my upset of the week. I think Atlanta's a good team. I told Philadelphia fans when the Falcons beat you, take a deep breath. Atlanta's a good football team. They're going to win their division, win 11, 12 games. I'm going to take the Falcons plus 3 points. They had no turnovers and 6.6 yards a play with Kirk Cousins. It's one of the best O-lines. Excellent running back room. Could be the best running back room in the league. By the way, 20 of 29 against the Eagles. Kirk Cousins moved better. Kansas City, first road game. Mahomes, first couple of weeks, worst in passing yards and turnovers. And Kirk Cousins had this reputation, bad in prime time. No, he's not. Last 4 primetime games, he's completing 75% of his throws. There's going to be an upset this weekend. I think it's close. I think it looks like the Philadelphia game, and I think Atlanta at home wins this game. I know.
And I thought for sure I was going to walk in here and go, ah! But no, I'm not. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons and the Dirty Bird, baby. Is this bad or what?
Don't nobody blink. This is who we are. This is who we're going to be. Right? I know we're happy about this moment, but who the f is next?
Cousins. Robinson. Stopped in the backfield by Bolton.
So I do believe that week 4, we will see 2 3-0 teams, and that's when they'll have opportunity to go head-to-head. It'll be Andy Reid versus Coach Harbaugh, Justin Herbert versus, the top quarterback in the league, and Patrick Mahomes. So that week, they will put the NFL on notice.
When I thought of you when I saw Jim Harbaugh, and you told me he loves his quarterback, right? You told me all of these. These are all the Whitner-isms. When I saw this, I knew I was thinking about you. What were you thinking?
Well, I've seen that before. I've seen it with Alex Smith. I've seen it with Colin Kaepernick. I've seen it with J.J. McCarthy. Now I see it with Justin Herbert. And you know what all of those guys have in common? They have Harbaugh as their head coach, and he's taking them on to do great things in championship games. So Herbert is the next in line for that.
I'm looking at the schedule because we got that bye in week 5 then after. Are they beating KC in that game?
I think they will beat KC in that game. Where are they playing?
They're playing at SoFi.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're going to beat KC week 4. After 4 weeks, the LA Chargers will be 4-0.
Because Jim Harbaugh could be the one person
This is a good answer.
that throws a wrench in this whole thing. The Chargers have the potential to become that feel-good, momentum, snowball effect team. The more they win this season, the more people are going to be like, I can't stop watching this guy, can't stop listening to his press conferences. He's so strange. I kind of like it. I'm going to start writing his quotes down. People are going to start quoting him. He's going to become this larger-than-life figure that, frankly, the expectation is there from a football perspective. But I don't think if the Chargers are feeling themselves, I don't think we've seen the full Jim Harbaugh effect. Now, what's stressful, if I were the Chiefs, though, is that the BC player after that game, Thomas Castellanos, went on ESPN and they were asked him, what's it going to be like at BC now? You get to win. You had this massive win. He goes, I go to BC. We go to class tomorrow. Justin Herbert is going to be like, I don't care. We beat the Chiefs once. We got to go back to work. We're going to beat them again. And if you talk about respect, Peter, do the Chiefs even respect their division? Because at this point, they've beat up on them, everybody in the division. So it could be a Jim Harbaugh for me.
I don't know if it's the championship or the last couple years in Michigan. He feels a lot lighter. If you just go, well, I could see the Chiefs kind of just cruise control. I don't know. They just won the last 2 Super Bowls. Is it out of the realm possibility they win the division?
They are 2-0, and they are playing it with a brand of football that could be troublesome for a Chiefs team that is not great against the run. J.K. Dobbins is running the ball up the gut, and the Chargers are using the ground game and playing efficiently and not letting mistakes bite them in the butt, which has been the case the last several years. I look at that team right now as the biggest contender.
I like it.
Not these other teams that we've been historically talking about with the Bills and the Bengals and the Ravens. The Chiefs have dominated those teams. The Harbaugh-led Chargers is a whole new type of deal than what it's been like in that AFC West. I'm looking at September 29th at 4:30 Eastern, right there behind where you're doing your show, Jamie, at SoFi Stadium, because that's a Chiefs-Chargers game. And I'm looking at this attack because they've got 2 big boys up front in Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, who do not give up sacks. And they've got 3 other interior linemen who do not allow pressure on the run. And they've got a host of running backs that have just been doing their thing. We haven't even seen the trademark Justin Herbert 60-yard pass off one leg across the body. But
this one is going deep for Worthy, and the rookie hauls it in. That's the longest touchdown pass for Mahomes in a long time.
I'm taking the Saints. I think these are 2 of the best defenses in the NFL. I think this is close and ugly, but the Saints have better skill players than the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think one of them is going to make enough plays to win this.
I'm going to take the Saints mainly because I feel like at some point that offense will catch up to Kansas City.
The Chiefs and the Saints.
Now, how many flags does every ref get? Oh, no. This is unrelated. This is totally unrelated to my feelings about the Chiefs in general. You know what? We're going who dat tonight. I'm going to take the Saints.
And at New Orleans, at Kansas City. New Orleans. Get the fuck out.
I think in a lot of ways, the Saints defense matches up good with Kansas City. They can play man-to-man. They can play zone. They're physical up front. I don't think the Chiefs, like I said, will be able to run the ball. And without Rashee Rice, I do worry about them getting open consistently in the passing game, right? I don't think they have enough there in the passing game to expose a team like the Saints defense, all right? The Chiefs, right, also have to be careful a little bit here of overplaying the Saints run game on the other side of the ball. I think that's another big aspect of this. You know, again, I'm not just because they lost us last week, they outplayed the Falcons. I'm not like off the bandwagon of the Saints and what they do. I think they're going to be able to run the ball on the Chiefs, and they'll be able to run it enough to where we know the Chiefs will take some chances and go all out to stop it and leave their corners on the island or do something aggressive, and this ain't the team you want to do it with Rashid Shaheed and Olave. I'm going Saints 27-20 to pull off the upset on the road against Kansas City.
Nick is not going to like it.
What's he doing?
But the Saints, we're going to have it on the bottom, will go marching into Kansas City and get a win. Here's the thing, Nick. The Chiefs aren't going 17-0. They're going to lose to a team they shouldn't lose to, just like they lost to Denver last year, just like they lost to Indianapolis the year before. It just happens in the NFL.
Okay, sure.
All right? And I think the Saints are a pretty good team. Obviously, the Chiefs don't have Rashee Rice. We saw last year, at least during the regular season, even they had Rashee, but what they looked like without a good receiver at that. And Rashee was good, but not great. And so now they don't have him. I think that's going to be a problem. And the great Patrick Mahomes, and you probably know this, Nick, has lost his last 2 games on Monday nights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Christmas Day
Well, that wasn't night. That was day.
But Monday.
Oh,
Monday.
okay.
Monday. He lost to the Raiders. He lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day. And then before that, they lost to Philadelphia, which was about to spiral into its supernatural funk. I argue they were already in that funk. It was coming, and Mahomes, lost those games. So
here's a 3rd down and 9 play. Mahomes, time's running out. Mahomes running all over the place, dives. Where are they going to put it?
Oh, my.
It's time to really clean the plate. Like it's either now or never. Like that's how I kind of look at it. Like with the guys that we have, like we didn't. Like I've been a part of the best team in the NFL for the past going on 6 years.
Yeah.
And so like we always there. Like we got to get it done.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm buying into that initial instinct, which is I think this game means more to them than it does the Chiefs.
4th and goal. Mahomes gonna walk in. Touchdown.
If there's one team I think that is not great but does know how to play the Chiefs, I think it is the Raiders. I think they're going to get physical with Mahomes. They'll probably catch a couple penalties, put a bug in his head.
Each other.
Yeah, and Antonio Pierce has made it kind of clear. I know there were some things prior to the season that Mahomes wants, to take personally. That might get him to play out of character. I like the Raiders.
For
me, I want selfishly, I want the Chiefs to win so we could be the ones to take them down and take them off that pedestal. So, I take it really personal.
Who's last time to beat the Chiefs?
Come
on, these dudes, you know what I mean? Like, they did that.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's cool. Like I told them, we're running back. We'll see them again. They got to see us. We got to see them.
Yeah.
And we already given the recipe of how to do it. These guys know what it's like.
Does that kind of help your game, just not having that intimidation by a guy like Mahomes?
No, I ain't intimidated by him. I don't think nobody in this locker room intimidated by him. It's good players all across the league. He a good player, so we see guys every week. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really. We focus on us more than we are about him.
Mahomes and caught by Worthy, touchdown. Mahomes' his second touchdown pass today.
Tampa Bay at Kansas City.
Tampa Bay.
All right, let's talk about that. You went Tampa Bay at Kansas City. Why so?
Tampa Bay a good team.
Okay. At home in Kansas City.
But they're going to give everything they can to try to win this one. And I won't be surprised if they do.
And I don't give a shit. Weapons, no weapons. Kansas City, they didn't cover last week. This is a spot, man. I'm telling you, the Bucs might show up in this game. Again, pressure. Mahomes was hit. Passes caught by Hopkins.
Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs big favorites in this one. Do they stay undefeated?
Nah. Give me the Broncos right here. The Chiefs need a loss. I think it's going to be this week.
It's not going to be easy at Arrowhead, undefeated Chiefs, but give me the Broncos. Close 1-point win, 21-20, because Sean Payton, with a very slim lead, late in the fourth, keeps his offense on the field, and you know what he does? Maybe like a Peyton Manning rollout like against the Cowboys back then, in 2015 it was. A little bootleg, use Nix's legs, get the first down, and just run out that clock. There is nothing I enjoy more than watching Mahomes on the sideline when he has that look on his face of something's wrong. This isn't fair. I don't get to touch the ball again. That's not how this works. That's the best visual in sports when it all starts to sink in for Mahomes of, oh, crap, I can't be the hero.
Kansas City, short week, overtime. Kansas City's not a team that blows people out. Denver, meanwhile, faced what teams do, and they realize it's a tsunami. Oh, let's go to Baltimore and play an angry Ravens team. They hammered last year the Niners, the Lions, like teams that were healthy at the time. Miami, Going to Baltimore shouldn't even count. You should be just like not any other place in the league. No team humiliates more teams than Baltimore in a bad mood at home. It doesn't matter. San Francisco. I mean, McVay lost last year. I thought it was this best coach game of the year when they lost at Baltimore. I thought that was when I bought the Rams. It's like, oh, they didn't get crushed. Okay, so don't just wipe that away. Denver's not a terrible team. Kansas City's not a great team. Division rivals. One team's humiliated. One team on a short week and over.
To win it. Oh! Blocked! The Chiefs have won! The Chiefs have won!
Taking the Texans, man. Texas defense. We're going to create some plays, and we're going to get Nico Collins some looks. One-on-one looks versus Trent McDuffie. Get big on him, Nico. Get big. Let's high point a couple of these things. Let's get going, Houston. Houston, Texans. Upset.
I know the spread, it says it'd be an upset.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Maybe an Arrowhead loss.
Yeah, it's the final home game of the year for Kansas City. It's a big deal. Obviously, the last 2 games are on the road, and then, the playoff push starts. But I don't think it'd be that big of an upset. Like, I would even go so far as to say it wouldn't be an upset. You're talking about a division champion 2 years in a row, won a playoff game last year. I think now playing their best football of the season. And like you said, the one thing that they do maybe better than anybody else, but certainly really, really well, is bother the quarterback.
Houston at Kansas City. Oh, my goodness. Listen, this is a good one. I just don't know about Mahomes. I'm not sure if
Carson Wentz special.
Huh?
Could be a Carson Wentz game.
Mahomes was full participant.
He was? Okay.
Yes. Okay, even with that, I still don't know about him. Even if he is playing, I think 50% of Mahomes is still better than most. If he plays, how is he? Can he move? I don't know. That's why I have Houston still winning this game 28-21. Okay, now
the board is yours. You are in first place.
Well, I'm going to be consistent with this week and where I've been focused, and that's with the Texans.
No,
yeah,
Greg.
come
It's a good pick.
I don't expect you to pick it, so I'm going to pick it.
Okay, fair. Coach
Texans,
is going to be so disappointed in you.
I'm still standing on business with C.J. Stroud and the Texans, and it's when you look at this defense, and we can show their numbers. When you look at this defense, this is how they can win this game. And I get it, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is really good as well. But when you look at points per game, allowed like 9th, 6th, this is a really good defense. And where the Kansas City Chiefs struggle and where their struggles have been is in the passing game. If you can stifle them in the running game and force them to actually lean on Hollywood Brown and some of these receivers that they haven't had a tremendous amount of success and get after Patrick Mahomes. I know we kind of gawk at Tim Settle for making the statements, but you said it. They have a really good defensive front, and they can get after the quarterback. Mahomes has been hit more than any quarterback in the National Football League. This is the second best sack unit that they're going up against in the Houston Texans. If they can get after Patrick Mahomes, rattle him, I don't want to see him get injured, keep him healthy for 4 quarters, but come on up with the dub. CJ, you still got to do your part on the offense side of the ball.
Hollywood Brown.
Mahomes, his total passing yards is 224.5. Which way do we go?
Way fewer. Agree. I was watching the show this week called Get Up, and there was a really smart guy who said that Patrick Mahomes should not play this week, and I completely agree. 2 games in 4 days with that offensive line. They have a left guard playing tackle against a team that's second in the league in sacks. I don't think he's going to play well, and I don't think he should be out there. Who's supposed to play?
It's nothing. I definitely see this O-line. It definitely has its leap holes, and it definitely has its their struggles. But, I feel like that we can take advantage of that. We got an elite D-line. I feel like Pat's a little banged up, so I don't know if he's going to play or not. But I hope he's mobile enough because we coming in Arrowhead.
You guys plan to get after that?
Yeah, for sure. Pat better make a good decision. I ain't making no threats. I'm making promises.
Second down and 8. Mahomes with time. Nearly tripped. Mahomes first down. Mahomes touchdown. What bum ankle. 15 yards for number 15.
I'm going to go Steelers. I'm going to go Steelers. And the reason why I'm going to go Steelers, if you had to pick a weakness out of the Kansas City Chiefs right now, what's their weakness?
Left tackle.
What's the Steelers' strength? Pass rush.
Highsmith and
on
TJ
both
Watt.
sides. From both sides. And up the middle, pause. Because Cam Hayward is a problem. You have Highsmith and you have TJ Watt. Their strength is the Chiefs' weakness. I think they can get after Patrick Mahomes and make it really, really hard on Patrick Mahomes. And Russ is showing that I can score just like Josh Allen can score. I'm not on Josh Allen's level as a quarterback, but offensively, I'm just impactful to my offense as Josh Allen is. But not only that, Russell Wilson don't play Patty Mahomes. TJ Watt does. And I have more confidence in TJ Watt than I do anybody on the Buffalo Bills defense. So I'm taking Cam Hayward, I'm taking Highsmith, I'm taking TJ Watt, and I think that they can find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And their coach is a winner. They're not going to make the stupid mistakes. Just like the Chiefs aren't, the Steelers aren't going to beat themselves. So I'm saying the Steelers will be the better.
There is a team not named the Baltimore Ravens that I do think is an existential threat to the Kansas City Chiefs and their run for a three-peat. Also a threat to the Baltimore Ravens repeating as division champions and the number one seed. And I don't think it's close.
Oh, no.
I think based on the first 2 days of this legal tampering period in the NFL, while I love Derrick Henry going to Baltimore because you solidify he's the back as opposed to 2 or 3 different guys, being the ball carrier for the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's pretty obvious and pretty clear. The team most likely to be the number one seed, the team most likely to upset Kansas City in their attempt for a three-peat, dare I say it, are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Here we go.
I officially think Pittsburgh's the best team in the AFC.
Oh, come on. You can't, after a Jameis game, you can't claim that.
I think they're the best team. I feel the safest about them if you start nitpicking all these AFC teams.
Really?
I feel the most comfortable with Pittsburgh. Great defense. I think their defense can make plays, create turnovers, create pressure. They can cover. I just like them. They can run the ball. They always seem to get like 2 or 3 30 to 40-yard plays per game or a pass interference or something. They have unbelievable special teams. They have the best field goal kicker in the conference. They're going to have home field advantage for at least the first 2 rounds. And they have an awesome coach. And I just think, I think right now, and I'll feel free to change my mind in 2 weeks, but right now I feel the best about them, all the AFC teams. Buffalo's defense, you saw today. This Chiefs team can't get to 20 points. I think if the Steelers played the Chiefs right now with what we're watching from the Chiefs, I think the Steelers would beat them.
Quarter, and there's going to be a play to be made, whether that's a TJ Watt strip sack fumble, whether that's a big touchdown drive from Russell Wilson to George Pickens, whether that's a Chris Boswell field goal, whether that's a muff punt that the Steelers recover. There's a play to be made in the fourth quarter. The team that makes it is going to win this football game, and I do think it will be the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. I like the Steelers' chances. I know, Mike Tomlin on a short week, all these different things, but I like the fact that George Pickens is back. I like the fact that the Steelers are pissed off about their last 2 losses. I like the fact that Chris Jones may not be on the field for Kansas City. I think it's going to be close. It could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Steelers.
It's these Kansas City offensive tackles, and now going up against a Pittsburgh defensive line that's one of the best in the league. Mm-hmm. You've got injuries to deal with along the offensive line in general. DJ Humphries is out. Jawan Taylor is questionable. The tackles specifically, the Kansas City tackles already had the 4th worst grade in the league. And now, again, like I said, you're going to be going against a really, really strong Pittsburgh defensive front, and that could matter.
Watch those escape lanes. 3rd and long. Mahomes shovels it on a floater. Oh! It's caught.
I think they make the playoffs. I think they make the playoffs. I don't think they win the division.
Well, Will.
Okay.
Don't
I love
do
it.
this,
I love it,
dude.
Will's that mouse that keeps going back and touching the electric.
I can't believe
shocked. He's like, I'm going to get this cheese next time.
Yeah, we were literally just talking about it. You just did it again.
Yeah, but man, I know deep in that brain, you're like, yeah, it could be a scrappy division top to bottom. It could be interesting.
You're going to feel so smart, though, if it hits.
I think the Chargers will be, because I believe in Harbaugh, will be better. But I don't think they're there. They're doing a full roster overhaul.
I think the Raiders are going to be better.
Herbert.
Yeah. Mahomes.
Bo Nix.
Mahomes.
You didn't
Gardner Minshew.
Oh, you took you a second. Mahomes.
Bro, I'm telling you, I think.
Look at the Chargers. And people kind of lament their wide receivers. But, John, I think we talked about this. San Francisco, it was Crabtree and a bunch of guys. If you look at everywhere Harbaugh has been, I mean, you can go to Stanford, Doug Baldwin. His teams have always had one shortcoming, not a great group of wide receivers. I don't think it's crazy to suggest the Chargers are going to be a top 3 seed in the AFC. I don't think
Chargers, love or loathe. LA hiring Jim Harbaugh as its head coach. Love, 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 love. I'm telling you right now, you could mark the tape. Jim Harbaugh will lead the Chargers to a championship, a Super Bowl. All Jim Harbaugh does is win. And you got to remember, the Niners were a disaster when he took over. Remember Mike Singletary? I want winners, can't coach them. Think about what he did at the University of San Diego, and then at Stanford, and then the Niners, and Michigan won a championship. And you got to remember, I mean, you see the record there for Harbaugh at Michigan. This team was a disaster when you consider what Michigan was under Brady Hoke and Rich Rod, and he turned them around. Harbaugh is amazing. And you want to talk about the ultimate upgrade. I mean, I thought it was Rich Kotite to Parcells. You're going to go from Brandon Staley. Why is he even smiling? Brandon Staley to Jim Harbaugh? That is the greatest upgrade for a head coach ever. And here's the deal when it comes to Justin Herbert. He has been great. Justin Herbert has another level. Justin Herbert can be even better. Go back to even week 1, week 2 for Justin Herbert, right? Against the Dolphins or the Tennessee Titans. Wasn't an alpha dog or scoring touchdowns late. Harbaugh, think about what he did with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. He is going to love Justin Herbert, who I think is that quarterback lab guy, right? You go into the lab, you design the quarterback. That's Justin Herbert. I don't even need to see the roster. They're going to at least double the win total from 5 to 10. And once you see the roster, and we're making our picks for the upcoming football season later this year on Time to Shine, I'm telling you, Chargers could win the division.
For the division! It's the Dyke for the division for the Chiefs!
Let's not argue.
I'm going to argue with him all night tonight. I'm just letting you know.
Let's not argue.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be no argument. I got them taking these 2 L's right here, bro. I got the Kansas City Chiefs starting 0-2. Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, you could make an argument that they were the better.
2 home losses?
You can make an argument that the Baltimore Ravens were the better team last year in the playoffs.
Hot.
They just didn't run the football. Okay? So you got motivation here. Joe Burrow's back in the building.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got the first. Go ahead.
Okay, I got him getting a win in Atlanta. I got him taking an L early.
Early?
To the Chargers.
They don't lose in L.A. to the Chargers.
This is Coach
Just
Harbaugh.
say they don't lose in
They
LA
run
to
the
the
football. Physicality. I got him getting a win right there. Bye week. So they 2-3 at the bye.
Oh boy.
That's your fourth squad, man.
This is actually my
That's
third.
your fourth
But go
squad.
ahead.
I got him taking an L right there too, dog. Super Bowl rematch at San Francisco, taking an L. Then they find their way mid-season. I can't wait to see this one right there. I want to see what Sean Payton got going on for Justin Herbert. All right, what you got? Oh, let me.
Well, hold on. You got to do your part. It's my turn. Yeah, thank you. You gave him a W. That's what I was going to say. Look, this is where the Chiefs start to get hot. Every year they get hot November, late October, November, December. We're going to have a win. I have a loss there. So if you switch that one.
Which one?
Well, I'll say they win this one, but I think they're going to lose to the Chargers late in the year. When it gets cold and Jim Harbaugh comes out in that 22 personnel, they get going, it gets crazy. I have them winning a tough one here.
I don't know about that one, but okay.
I have a loss here to the Texans. I just think the Texans have a little bit going on there. Win-win on the way out on the road. Rich?
Yeah, Rich.
That's kind of what it looks like.
I have a win for the Chiefs. I know they lost last year to the Lions. That's not happening 2 years in a row. And what is also not happening is the Bengals coming into town, doing their little Burrowhead thing. Give me a Chiefs win there. Give me a Chiefs win on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. Then week 4, going to LA to play Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to go Chargers there. I'm going to go Chargers, but the Chiefs rebound with a victory over the Saints in week 5, heading into their ridiculously early bye week. The Chiefs will be on the road to face the San Francisco 49ers in week 7. I'm going to go with the 49ers in a Super Bowl rematch, but the Chiefs get over on the Raiders in Week 8. They beat the Buccaneers in Week 9. And in Week 10, I'm going to say the Broncos sneak a victory over the Chiefs because they're looking ahead to a matchup with the Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously, the Chiefs eliminated the Bills last year, but regular season-wise, the Bills have been beating the Chiefs, and I think Andy Reid's had enough. So give me the Chiefs there. Give me the Chiefs over the Panthers, which shouldn't be a surprise in Week 12. But Raiders in Week 13. I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Chargers in Week 14. I'm going to go with the Browns in maybe a mild upset in Week 15. Chiefs, though, take care of business against the Texans in Week 16. Lose to the Steelers in this holiday classic in Week 17. But with the number 1 seed on the line and trying to play for playoff positioning.
Take the Chiefs under 11.5. With Harbaugh in the division, with Herbert, you're going to lose one of those games. They lost L'Jarius Sneed, their top corner. Harrison Butker comments, Rashee Rice, legal troubles. This is still a wide receiver core that I would never trust. This was a bad team in the middle of the season, 10 to Week 14. Again, they'll be fine eventually, but they're aging at key spots like Travis Kelce. The division's better. I see him as an 11-16, 10-7, but I do not see them as a top of the AFC 12 or 13 win team.
You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs.